Hello Infiniteers! Today I'm going to continue the build for the Rainforest District of my Zootopia toy box. But before I do, I want to let you know that this will probably be my only video this week. I have a lot going on right now in my personal life, and I'm just not going to have time to record the next video in this series until this coming weekend, and so I wanted to make you aware of that. But for today, let's pick up where we left off. Last time, I built the tree trunks and the major branches for the trees in the Rainforest District, and we also put the platforms up there and some buildings and the rope bridges. And today I'm going to start filling in the smaller branches on the trees and building the big canopy of leaves that are going to be over top of this area. I love blue. I'm hoping to finish this build today, but we'll see how far we get. And normally I have a bunch of screen grabs that I follow to try to recreate what I had here before. And as you recall from the previous episode, I've got probably a couple of hundred screen grabs for this toy box here, for this part of the toy box, the Rainforest District. I'm going to throw those out, and we're going to wing it today because this is difficult to build. It's so difficult to get the camera in here and see, once we start putting these branches in, exactly where to put things and how they're going to work. So I'm just going to kind of wing this, and we'll see how it goes. It's not going to be quite the same as I did before, but the main purpose of this is to build a canopy, as I said. And we just want to cover the top of this as much as we can with leaves and vines and things so that this looks really, really good. Now here we can't place one of these there. We can put one over here. So we'll do that. And I'm just winging this. I kind of have an idea in my mind how this is going to turn out, and I've studied this and looked at it. But if you want to do something a little bit different than I do, that's fine. If you want to follow what I'm doing exactly, that's fine. But again, the point of this is we just want a canopy of trees. That's not going to sit there like that. That would sit there like that. So I'm going to put that there. We'll put this one over here. And there we go. We're getting a nice set of trees, branches and stuff around there. We can put one down here, because we should have branches inside the tree too. When we get up here, we're going to have to use the smaller branches because nothing else is going to fit in here. Now that can sit there. Some of this you just have to kind of play with. Now that'll work. That'll look pretty good. And I think we can place something here. I think that might get in the way of stuff I want to do over there though, so can we put this here like that? We can. And we want the tree branches to kind of go over the boundary here a little bit of the toy box. That's not a problem. The main point is, again, we want to just fill this up. We want leaves and branches down here, inside the tree, beneath the platforms, above the platforms, everywhere we can, so that when you're running around in the tree, it feels like you're actually in the treetops. So that's important. All right, so we'll place that there. This gets another layer of branches up above, so that when you're down in here, You got branches above you, you got branches around you, you got foliage down here below you at all levels. And this is what we need. So yeah, I like that. We can put some down over here, like that. When we get out over here, we'll place some off the end of this. And that'll sit there like that. And I'm trying to line this up so that the branch, if you notice on the huts, there's a little section here that looks like the tree trunk is truncated there. That's what I'm trying to attach the branches to. Is that little section right there. Just like that. Now see, we can't get that one in there, but what we can do, we have these little extension pieces, I call them, that you can use to bring those out. I think I'm going to wait on that though, because we also have the branches over here from this tree. Oh, and by the way, let's move this piece over a little bit. I think I want to put something over here. Now that's going to collide with those pieces, but we can move these out of the way. Sometimes changing the order of how we do this. Instead of putting those down first, we put the branch in first. Attach that. And then sometimes we can slide these pieces back. Just like that. And they slide right into place without any issues. So sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit to get the branches to go where you want them to go. And that's starting to look pretty good. Alright, let's put some branches out over here. And then we can see what we can fit on the other side of that hut there. Alright, so that will fit in like that. See, that's going to be a problem coming up to that hut, but I think I'd rather have this there like that. Now on this side, because I've kind of created a imaginary cutoff for the world, we don't want to stick anything out too far beyond that. And so what I think I want to do here is use the shorter branch on this end of this this thing, so it doesn't stick out too far. And we could probably do the same over here, or instead of sticking it off the end of that, we can put this up top like that, and that'll work. And this is going to hit too many things there like that. And it's going to hit that. But that goes in without a problem. And that goes in without a problem. You can put this down a little bit too. They don't all have to be at the same level. If we drop that one down, that works pretty good. Put one over here at this level. Just really fill it in. Make it look full of leaves. And that will sit there like that. That one will sit in there like that. Now that's definitely going to be in the way of that branch, or is it? Maybe it won't be. That's actually going to be in the way of that bigger one. But we could use something like that. Now that's going to be in the way. That'll fit in there. Could also attach it on that side. That would work too. Can't go that way though. And that would work. Let's see, then we get a couple of these branches that are just busy facing the same direction, so it's a good idea to break that up once in a while. So we'll put that on there like that. Use the small one. I'm actually going to put some other stuff down here a little bit later, so. Alright, and then over here on this side, we can put something down over here. Kind of fill that in a little bit. That'll collide. We could put this here, or we could move it down and put it over there. Or we're going to put it there like that. I think that looks a little better. And I don't think we can stick anything up over here. Nope. What about on this side? There we can. That will work. And I'm going to leave a little area open here where the player can get underneath. So that's important. I wonder if we can do the same thing on this side. Yeah, nope. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Sometimes you just can't get these things in where you want them. And that's bumping into something. Oh, the branch there. That's going to be too far over. So yeah, that'll have to be enough there. Okay, so this will sit in there. That's good. And again, we can use this little piece here. To get this out. But before we work on that, let's put some branches in around over here on this tree. Because we got to make sure we don't crowd out the neighboring trees. I think we'll drop this one down. On this side, let's see, we'll do that. Put that in there like that. I really want to make sure we have something on the end of that hut. But again, the idea is just build your canopy. Try to cover this area as much as possible. And this is good because this goes over top of the hut. So you want the hut not to be sitting at the top of the tree. You want it to look like it's in the tree. So it's good to have pieces like that that sit above it. And that's one of the reasons why I constructed this the way I did, was that this way we could have some of these things sitting like this. Let's see, can we sit any of these up here? Not really. When you look at where it's got to sit, and that's actually going to be in the way of something I'm going to do there. So let's do this first. So I want to place this here like this. And that's not going to sit like that. That's not going to sit like that. That will sit like that, so that's good. We have to have a way to get up to these huts, so what I want to do, come back over here and pick up this bridge. And go grab the long wooden ladder. We can use this to get up there. And we'll have to move the rope bridge here so it doesn't end right into the ladder. We slide it over there. I think that flows a little better. And still comes off of the hut pretty well. So that's good. We can stick a branch off the other end of this. Like that. Because we need some foliage out here. And now that we've added that, now we can see where we can take this little branch here. That'll come off like that. I think we're going to run into stuff if we try to go off of the end over here. Yeah, we could do that. Or we could do that. That sticks out further to the left there. But that adds a little bit deeper layer. So I don't think it really matters. Let's put it over here. You can see now we're getting our canopy, and that's starting to look really good. I like that. All right, so the big branch won't fit in here. What about the little branch? Can we stick a few of these in here? That's not going to impact that ladder, so that's good. That'll sit in there like that. Yeah, that's starting to look pretty good. All right, can we get anything down over here? Well, that'll sit in there. That'll add a little bit more foliage there. Because those tree trunks are actually kind of big and they're ugly. So anything we can put down a little further to kind of hide some of that is going to be a good thing. This isn't going to let us do too much. Oh, there we go. We can put one there. That's good. What about on top of this tree? Nope. Okay, so if we look at this now, when you're down below and you're looking up, you got a lot of foliage up there. And it's starting to look like you're under a rainforest canopy a bit. And when you're in the tree, as we showed earlier, you got stuff above you, you got stuff below you. It's looking really, really good. I would really like to have something up in this area up here to cover this up, but I don't know how we're going to do that, to be honest. There's just nothing I can really build off of. The only thing I've got is this little piece sticking out over here, which we could stick something there, but there's really nothing we can put on that. It doesn't go anywhere. These aren't going to really fit. I mean, that kind of does, I guess, but it looks more like it's cut off than anything else. It really needs to sit there, but it can't. It looks like it's not sitting in the right spot, and that doesn't get up above the buildings here. And I had this problem on my original build too. I wasn't quite sure how to deal with that. I mean, your other option is you can move one of these down over that, but it doesn't really move it that far to the right here. It's kind of a tricky conundrum. And it may be that we just have to live with this part of it kind of feeling like it's at the top of the tree. Other parts of the tree, though, it feels like you're down inside the tree, which is more what we want. It's the feel that we're going for. But let's keep going. How are we doing on time here? Oh, we're doing all right. I think we're going to end up going a little bit over today, but since this is going to be my only video this week, I figure you might not mind, especially if we end up finishing this toy box. It'd be nice to have a little bit more of a canopy piece underneath here, but don't know how we're going to do that with this piece. Unless, yeah, even if we put a little elbow here, it's not going to get that piece out far enough away. I don't think we can set it on top of that thing there either. I think the smaller one might work though. Like that. Whoops. Sorry for the camera craziness there. That could sit out there if we put that little L shape in here. And by the way, as I'm building, pay attention to the memory meter over on the right. You'll see we're well into the yellow area. These tree pieces here take up a lot of memory. And this is why I ended up having to take this out on my Wii U, because with all the memory that these tree pieces consume, and Tundra Town, it might get in the way of that bridge. With all the memory that those pieces consume, it didn't leave me enough room for logic. And that's a problem because the whole point of the toy box was to do the mystery game and a bunch of police quests, police cases. And unfortunately, if you don't have those, you don't have much of a toy box. Or at least much of a police adventure. Which was the whole reason for me to do this. Yeah, this isn't going to sit in here. But we might be able to use the small one. Yeah, that'll sit in there. Make sure it's sitting up high enough above that staircase. Oh, look at that. That just looks fabulous. It feels like you're under a huge canopy of leaves. I like that. Man, the only thing I don't like is that there's no canopy above this section here. And maybe what we have to do is put something different down there. Some of this you just have to play with. Okay, so we can get this up here. That's good. That helps. And this lets us get that in, which helps. That helps a lot up at this level. But we still have all of this empty space down here. Let's see if maybe we can move that branch out this direction where it won't collide with anything. It's going to collide there. There we go, that'll work. Put the smaller branch on the other side. Whoops. Not there. Trying to find the edge of this is a little bit of a challenge. Can we stick that there like that? Nope. Stick it there like that? Nope. Can we add an L in here? Maybe off the end of that? Now you don't want to start making this too convoluted because it's not going to look natural if you do. See, that doesn't look quite right from down below, but if we take and move this up just a bit, bring it over and set it on top, that doesn't look quite right either, does it? Maybe though, if we put the, can we put this little piece on the end of that? Oh, we can. How's that look? That's not too bad. It does look a little goofy from this side though, doesn't it? Some of this though, you just have to go, yeah, that's just the pieces you work with and you have to live with it. What's it look like from when you're up here? Let's get out of the editor and just see what it looks like from Blue's perspective. All right, so we got foliage down below. Good. We got foliage up above. That's good. We got leaves and stuff all around. It feels like we're in the tree, not on the top of the tree. And if we're down here, yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. What's it look like from over here? Sometimes you just have to walk around a little bit and look and see from the player's standpoint how something looks. And so you get these vines and things that kind of cover up some of that ugliness, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I think this will be fine. And I like how you look out over that way and there's the city. And Tundra Town's over there. Very cool. How's it look from down here? Pretty good. Pretty good. And there's always a little bit more you can do, you know. Like I see sections over here that look like you could put something if you wanted. Something over here. Obviously you can't go too crazy with this stuff, but it doesn't hurt. And if you're on a system that has the memory, the more of that that you can add, the better. And I like how that covers up this ugliness for that trunk a little bit. So that's really, really good. There's not much we can do here. I think I already tried to stick something over here. It's just not going to let me. So there's only so much you can do. And if you try to add some of these little branch pieces in there and extend it, then it starts to look not too natural. So if you're going to use those, only use them a little bit. All right, we are at the 30-minute mark, but we're almost done. I'm going to go offline now, and I'm going to add in the rest of the decorations and plants, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I've got, and we'll wrap up the build. Okay, I am back, and I have added in all of the rest of the detail. So let me start off by showing you what I've got here. I have added in another hut, and you can see how it's aligned with the terrain seam here. And I added one of these big leafy sections on that end, a little L, and then one of the medium-sized branches on that side. And you remember last time when we looked at the screenshots from the movie, there were buildings on the ground. And so that's what I've done here, is add a couple of those. This one, like the other one, is backed up to the edge of the terrain, but it's centered on this little piece of racetrack there. And on this one I have a rope bridge coming up to it. We have a small branch on that side, a large branch on that side. Oh, and by the way, I put this staircase piece here. That's the treehouse staircase from Building Sets Group 1. All right. And then this is where the ice cream sign goes in this version of the Zootopia toy box. This is where the rowboats go in this version of the toy box. And this is where the giant mushroom goes. And I showed how I constructed that back in episode 6, I think it was. All right, and then we've got our lampposts in here, and you can look at the road seam there to see how these are positioned. This one is a little further towards the road than I'd like, but I can't back it up any further because of that staircase. The one on the opposite side, though, is in the right place. This is the Fantasy Terrain 3, styled for Zootopia, and I've given you alternatives for those if you don't have the Zootopia Power Disc. The single tree is Fantasy Terrain 4, and again I've given you alternatives for that. And this piece is Fantasy Terrain Strip 1, and all of these are styled for Zootopia. Okay, we have our traffic signals in here. I've got a couple of trees here, and feel free to pause the video along the way so that you can see exactly what I've got. This is Fantasy Terrain 1, styled for Zootopia. I put one of those on either side of the staircase there. We have our lamppost here, and again, look at the road seam there. It's right before the turn. Got a couple of trees over here. A single tree sitting here. Some of the tree clusters sitting there. And a single tree here. And group of trees there. On the other side, Fantasy Terrain Strip 1 again, and number 4, the single tree. Notice the light posts are right there on that road seam. And notice how it's positioned with respect to the bridge. On this side, since we now know where everything is, I have added 2 little trees here on either side. All right, following the big tree around, we have a plant here. Again, Fantasy Terrain 3, Fantasy Terrain 1. And you can see how these are positioned. If you don't get them exactly the same as I do, as long as you're in the general ballpark, you're going to be just fine. I know some of you like to place these exactly where I have mine. The single tree fits over here. And I put another one here. Fantasy Terrain 3 there. A couple of lampposts. Again, notice the seam in the road there. I'll help you position them. Fantasy Terrain 1 here kind of softens the edge of that. And our lampposts again with the trees. Just a few trees in the background to fill that empty space. Outside of this tunnel, we have our lampposts and a couple of these trees. Alright, and then up on top, we have Fantasy Terrain Strip 1. You can see how I've oriented those, of course styled with Zootopia. I put a couple of these tree clusters, Fantasy Terrain 3, just to kind of help hide the transition between this block and that block, since the terrain theme is different. Fantasy Terrain Strip 1, and again, a couple trees here to hide the terrain seam. And then along the edge of Tundra Town, we have a few of these up here on the top. And again, that hides the terrain seam. And that just looks really good. As you look up around, you just got a lot of really beautiful scenery in here. It really looks like a rainforest district, and I really, really like it. All of the flowers and plants, the big canopy overhead with all the leaves and vines. Of course, all the buildings up there, the big trees. I think it really captures the look and feel of this very well. Oh, and I'm not sure I pointed this out. This is a vine that I added. The Ewok Village Vine Climb. And the reason I put that there, I don't want you to miss it, is because without that, this is the only way to get into the upper areas. And that can be kind of a pain. But having another way to get up from this side means you don't have to run all the way over there just to get up onto the trees and get to the buildings that are up on this end. So this just helps with the flow of the toy box pretty well. And one last thing I want to point out, let me come out of Spark mode. Notice the memory meter on the right. And let me put the memory meter up by comparison so that you can see what that looks like next to the other version that we built first, the one that I needed to use on my Wii U. And you can see this version of the toy box with Tundra Town and the Rainforest District is pushing close to the red. The other version of the toy box has a lot more free memory, so that gives us plenty of space for the logic, whereas this one didn't. It's a beautiful toy box and it's great to play in on my Wii U, but I didn't have any room left for all of the logic. I could maybe add 1 or 2 cases and that was it. So I really wanted to be able to have things to do because, again, the police cases and quests are the whole reason for me doing this toy box. But with that, the build for my Zootopia toy box is finished. Next time, we'll start working on the logic for the different police cases and missions. Thank you for watching. Before you go, leave a comment and let me know what you think of the Rainforest District and the toy box as a whole. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you like Disney Infinity and my toy box designs, just click my photo in the lower right corner of this video. Take care and have a great week.